My point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire.
Yeah.
If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show and say, thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that happen. Actually, there is one man we can thank for this situation, and that would be President Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way in. And if you're not subscribed, if you're new here, my name's Clyde. Hit the subscribe button. It's just down there. In fact, a lot of people have been saying that they've been unsubscribed to the channel. Make sure that you're still subscribed. I don't know, screwy stuff happening on YouTube. But the word around the street is peace in the Middle East. That's something that everyone's kind of seen as a long shot, never happening. But this is something that's capable and actually is happening in our lifetimes. This is unbelievable, and Donald Trump has put out a message about this. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
We gather on a day of profound joy, of soaring hope, of renewed faith, and above all, a day to give our deepest thanks to the Almighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It should now be clear to everyone throughout the region that decades of fomenting terrorism and extremism, jihadism and anti-Semitism have not worked. They've been a disaster. They've just killed. They've killed.
And this is not a new message. This is the amazing thing. Now, I'll leave a link in the description. You can go check that out in its entirety. But this is something that Donald Trump has been saying, and not just saying over here. He's been going right to the source and saying this is where it needs to go. And boy, is he not being shy about it whatsoever. Here's an amazing clip of Donald Trump bringing this right to the Middle East and saying, listen, things need to change, and they need to change for the better.
Every time a terrorist murders an innocent person and falsely invokes the name of God, it should be an insult to every person of faith. Terrorists do not worship God. They worship death. If we do not act against this organized terror, then we know what will happen and what will be the end result. Terrorism's devastation of life will continue to spread. Peaceful societies will become engulfed by violence, and the futures of many generations will be sadly squandered. If we do not stand in uniform condemnation of this killing, then not only will we be judged by our people, not only will we be judged by history, but we will be judged by God. This is not a battle between different faiths, different sects, or different civilizations. This is a battle between barbaric criminals who seek to obliterate human life and decent people, all in the name of religion. People that want to protect life and want to protect their religion. This is a battle between good and evil. There can be no coexistence with this violence. There can be no tolerating it, no accepting it, no excusing it, and no ignoring it. We can only overcome this evil if the forces of good are united and strong, and if everyone in this room does their fair share and fulfills their part of the burden. Terrorism has spread all across the world, but the path to peace begins right here on this ancient soil in this sacred land. America is prepared to stand with you in pursuit of shared interests and common security. But the nations of the Middle East cannot wait for American power to crush this enemy for them. The nations of the Middle East will have to decide what kind of future they want for themselves, for their country, and frankly, for their families and for their children. It's a choice between two futures, and it is a choice America cannot make for you. A better future is only possible if your nations drive out the terrorists and drive out the extremists. Drive them out. Drive them out of your places of worship. Drive them out of your communities. Drive them out of your holy land.
This is
and drive them out of this earth.
An amazing message from Donald Trump, and he's been preaching this for some time. And this is why he's bringing this message now of peace as it's happening in the Middle East. Now, in North America, nobody wants to, or in the Western world, nobody's wanting to give him any credit for what he's done.
For the first time in 2 years, there are no living hostages in the hands of Hamas. This ceasefire that has been brokered is holding
By
for
who?
now, and today we've seen the release of 20 Israeli hostages who are still alive and being held in Gaza, captured on October 7th, returned to Israeli soil for the first time.
Yeah, peace that's been brokered. Who brokered that peace? Well, of course, it was Donald Trump. Yes, that's right. And nobody wants to admit that. Even Barack Obama here putting out a tweet talking about how peace can come and how we're gonna bring it, and this is a great day, and this is all happening because the hostages will be released, and that's amazing. Donald Trump Jr. saying, "I'll finish it for you." Thank you, Donald Trump. Exactly. Thank you, Donald Trump, for making this even possible over in Europe. It's crazy. They just can't admit that this is all brought about by Orange Man, the bad Orange Man. That's right. The guy who they've been saying is going to bring about World War III is actually bringing about world peace. This is unbelievable. But of course, they want to take credit for what has been done here.
We have played a key role behind the scenes in shaping this. It's right that we do so because it's in all of our interest, including our own national interest, that we move to a lasting peace in the region.
Well, when you say behind the scenes, like what? I mean, what?
Like what?
It seems to everybody else in the world that this has been done by Trump and the Israelis and Hamas. What part did we play?
These are
well, we sat around and we hung out with the Palestinian protesters. That's what they did. This is unbelievable that they're taking credit for this now.
That we are involved in, but we do welcome and recognise the critical role that the American government played in moving us to this point. What matters now, of course, is how we move beyond this immediate end to the war, moving towards that lasting peace that we all want to see. And that is why we have recognised a Palestinian state.
Yeah, maybe you should be benched. Maybe you should be benched, absolutely. This is Ambassador Mike Huckabee saying, "I assure you she's delusional. She can thank real Donald Trump anytime to just set the record straight." Now, again, when these people are coming forward, now they're saying, "Okay, thanks, Trump. We're gonna take the reins now." No, you guys have screwed it up for so long. It took Donald Trump to come in and take care of that. Now, no stranger to taking credit. CBC is reporting Carney to attend Gaza peace summit in Egypt on Monday. Prime Minister's office. Now they're really pushing for this. Carney had some part in this and something to do with it. In fact, all these leaders had nothing to do with it. Although, I mean, let's just be honest, Mark Carney is no stranger to taking credit in a lot of things. Let's just be honest. But Marco Rubio says, actually, these people were the ones that were getting in the way of peace while they were doing the job.
Have you noticed that the talks with Hamas fell apart on the day Macron made the unilateral decision that he's going to recognize a Palestinian state? And then you have other people come forward, other countries say, well, if there's not a ceasefire by September, we're going to recognize a Palestinian state. Well, if I'm Hamas, I basically conclude, let's not do a ceasefire, because we can be rewarded and we can claim it as a victory. So those messages, while largely symbolic in their minds, actually have made it harder to get peace and harder to achieve a deal with Hamas. They feel emboldened. Have you noticed?
That made it a lot harder, and yet they still pulled it off anyway. So some people that are actually giving credit to Donald Trump, well, would be the actual person who won the election in Venezuela, but was not recognized by the dictatorship. And there's a lot ongoing struggle there. But Maria Corina Machado is come out and said and dedicated her Nobel Prize that she won, Nobel Peace Prize, to Donald Trump. We're grateful for what Trump is doing for peace. Nobel winner tells the BBC. She even went on to Twitter to say, this recognition of the struggle of all Venezuelans is a boost to conclude our task to conquer freedom. We're on the threshold of victory today. And today, more than ever, we count on President Trump and the people of the United States, the peoples of Latin America, and the democratic nations of the world as our principal allies to achieve freedom and democracy. I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to the President of America, Donald Trump, for his decisive support for our cause. That's right. He's trying to help them get out of a communist dictatorship over there. Of course, crickets from Europe, crickets from Canada, crickets from the Western world, and CNN and all the like. They're a little not happy about the fact that recognition is going to the guy who actually brought peace and is bringing peace around the world. This is amazing. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.